TikTok prankster just admitted it destroyed his life. Well, I can believe that. Pranksters normally end up doing crimes eventually. So yeah.
This man just admitted that being a TikTok prankster destroyed his life, as he's now back on social media after getting arrested for his content, called out on national television, and banned from posting online for 2 years.
Do you get your kicks out of doing that?
Not necessarily, but you can say that this whole public outroar just makes me laugh because people are getting hurt over something that didn't happen to them.
But you know, except for planning a more degenerate return to social media like so many others.
People are getting hurt over something that hasn't. Oh, you watched it? You watched it? Oh my gosh. That's something that hasn't happened to them. That's ridiculous, because someone pranks someone and then other people get offended on like that person's behalf. But the prankster is like, oh, people are getting mad that I did this to some random person. But it's not like it happened to those random people.
Like IRL streamers that we've covered in the past did. He spent these 2 years offline completely changing his life. He became a father of 2, went back to school for media, and got himself a construction job. And honestly, this needs to be celebrated. Someone learning their lesson and deciding to provide value to society, that is amazing.
What?
I still completely despise what he did for clout and attention back in the day. But at the end of the day, we want people to actually better themselves, change.
Okay, so he was basically destroyed his life, but for the better. Oh my gosh. So it's a positive story. That's actually, because normally he does like the crash and burns of like the streaming world, talking about how these get rich quick scheme YouTubers have lost their careers because now they're spending 6 to 10 years in prison for scamming people consistently.
Their lives and leave a positive impact on society. So now the 2-year social media ban has passed and he's finally allowed to go back online and is now posting social media content encouraging others to do the same as him instead of chasing clout through shot content.
Hello world, after 2 long years, I am back. You probably know me as that kid that was walking into random houses, doing madness, riding bikes in places, jumping over people, stealing people's dogs, yeah.
So yeah, he was a criminal. He was a criminal. He was a criminal on social media. It's funny how most of these people do this stuff and they do it. They record themselves doing crimes. It's insane. How do people self-report like this?
Blasphemy, Baphonominy. That's what I was on still. But now I've reformed, I've changed as a person. You've probably seen on the news. I've been working, I've been looking after my kids.
You guys know I love a follow-up story on this channel, and even more so when it's actually a positive one and not someone who's completely throwing away their life like so many of the others we covered. Cough, cough, Johnny Somali over here. Because today we're talking about the now ex-nuisance creator, Mizzy, or Bakari Ogaro, a 21-year-old from East London who I've covered extensively here on this channel in the past. In fact, from May of 2023 until April of 2024, I made about 5 videos covering his antics, which included trespassing into someone's house, filming them without their permission, which, you know, made him viral in the first place. Then he was disrupting a whole bunch of businesses, breaking into a cockpit of a train, subway surfing on the top of buses. He was doing everything. But I feel like one of the worst things he did was...
Seriously, what the heck? That is insane. That is absolutely insane. I mean, how did he only get 2 years? A 2-year media ban. Did he even serve any time? He might have served some time, but I didn't. It was what, 2024? Yeah, 2024. And 2-year ban, and now he's back on social media. But those are some incredibly big crimes he did. And he self-reported, sure, it was a joke, it's not serious, but the person he's invading doesn't know that.
Stealing an elder lady's dog. He did return it, but not before scaring the absolute crap of her and, you know, running pretty much a block away from her. So she genuinely thought her dog was gone forever, most likely. Either way, though, he went on to multiple national talk shows to be publicly bashed and shamed, and then he was finally arrested, banned, and essentially thrown off the internet. Like in a court-ordered way, the UK government literally banned him from using social media. But since Mizzy's social media ban was officially lifted just recently, he's been back showing a more wholesome side, promoting hard work work and focusing on family. And obviously this is a massive difference from when I first started covering Mizzy, because that was back in 2023, and the first time I covered him was over the whole trespassing into strangers' homes. That video went extremely viral on TikTok and caused a ton of outrage since it's illegal. Also, not only is it trespassing, but if he did something in a state that has stand your ground laws, he might have not been here today. It's safe to say things could have gone really bad, because I mean, it wasn't.
Well, it should have, because now it's like you can get away with it 2 years and then you can get back to doing it again. And then he's gonna be a repeat offender. Sure, it's great that he changed his life, but at the same time, it's just a band-aid fix. Not everyone is gonna do something like that. That's like the negative of something like that, where you try to be lenient and give someone the benefit of the doubt. Sadly, you only get so many chances in life. I mean, we only have one life to begin with. So if you screw up, it was your choice to screw up in the end. I don't know. I still feel like it's great that he changed his life, but in my head, it's just like, if I did all that dumb crap, I would deserve to go to prison for that dumb crap. Not be, oh, you were just joking around. Let's give you a 2-year ban. Britain's all messed up. Britain's all messed up. Of course, every nation is messed up in its own way. But come on, 2 years for breaking and entering, stealing, being on top of like a vehicle as it's in motion. I mean, the list apparently goes on and on.
Too long ago, we had a situation in Virginia where a TikToker lost their life after doing this ding-dong ditch prank. But this video led to his account being banned, but it also somehow resulted in him appearing on the Piers Morgan show and essentially doubling down on his behavior. And he also used the excuse that UK laws are just too chill, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that was what I was just arguing about.
Because in a way, he was kind of breaking the fourth wall in England there, because when even the dudes who are committing crimes are like, yo, the laws are too weak, maybe they are. But that comment did go on to backfire because they ended up punishing him for this.
This week, a social media prankster named Mizzy has generated headlines of
2-year ban is nothing
outrage for so-called pranks, which mostly involve just terrorizing innocent bystanders. London's Met Police announced they were looking for Mizzy, real name Bakari Bronzagaro. The law caught up with him, and today he was fined £365 and given a criminal behavior order, which is supposed to ban him from posting to social media without the written permission of the people in his video.
I wouldn't really call it terrorizing, I'll just call it more having fun. Let's get this out of the way first. You see this situation that blew up on the internet, the walking into random houses? The next day, I apologized to the woman because I felt bad, innit? She recorded me apologizing to her. I told her sorry and she explained that she was terrified because her children were in the house, and I understood it.
What were you doing in the house?
What was I doing in the house?
He was just being a troll. He was just, and imagine if it was just someone who, without the teasing intention, or someone just trying to get a clip on the internet. Eventually, the world will be confused. Like Atozy had mentioned, like there's the TikTok craze. Instead of the ding dong ditch, kids will go to someone's house in the middle of the night wearing ski masks and like we're all black on TikTok, and then they kick doors. They kick doors as like they'll jump kick doors. And a lot of the cases, like there were 3 kids not recently that were arrested or detained in what was it, Kansas, because an elderly couple called, or an elderly lady called and said her husband was at the door holding a gun, waiting for them because he was gonna, you know, mow them down. And it's just like, again, someone's already lost their life 6 months ago with that prank. It's not a prank because the people on the other side don't know it. Something like, again, a brown paper bag with trash in it that you light on fire, like, you know, so that way when they stomp it out, they get crap all over. They don't know it's a joke until they've stomped it out and they realize there's crap all over their foot. Then they realize they're on the butt end of a joke. Or the ding dong ditch. That's something that's like a classic where you ring someone's doorbell and you run away. And then everyone knows, like, oh, this is what's going on. But imagine the middle of the night and someone hits your door, like rams your door. And then you look at your cameras and it's someone in a ski mask, dark clothes, and all they do is hit your door and then they disappear when it doesn't open, when they hit it. There's nothing there for you to be like, oh, this is a tease. A ding dong. It's like, oh, they're letting you know. Lighting a brown bag on you are afraid, but at the same time, you don't know until what it is until you start stomping on it. Or you have no sense of smell like my brother, and then you'll just remember it's a brown paper bag that was lit on fire. But yeah, this stuff is terrorizing to the people on the other end. And the problem is social media is making it escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate, and TikTok is not doing it any favors. Because one big person will do this, and and most of the time, the people who are on the receiving end know it. Because it's all like a pre-planned prank. Everyone is in on it. Everyone is in on it. But the people who are seeing it think it's going to become a trend, that they start doing it, not realizing that, oh, the people on the other side aren't in on this joke.
I don't know, it was a stupid video, like I got hair pressure to say.
It's somebody else's fault.
I'm not blaming it on no one else.
I mean, you break into a house with a woman and a husband and
I went into the house on my own accord.
You went through their door, right? But it's not your house. You're not supposed to be in there.
Oh, no.
You are causing a lot of alarm to that poor woman and to her children who are in the house. I also care about the fact you've only got a tiny fine today, no deterrent to you whatsoever. You don't show any real remorse. You don't really care, do you?
The UK laws are weak, simple as. And that's not, the UK laws are weak, simple as, and that's not my fault.
So I guess
the UK laws are weak. It's not another serious live. It's just, well, the UK laws are weak. Someone was banned from the internet for 2 years, and then after 2 years, they basically turned their life around. They have kids. They have a steady job. They have a family. But it's like those types of things are like prison worthy. The people on the other side of it are all terrified, and they probably want some justice. But it's just insane that that's 2 years. Breaking and entering, theft, breaking into government or city property, like, you know, the main office of the conductor of like a train or something he broke into. I mean, that's all serious crimes in most nations, but in the UK, it's just like, well, you were recording yourself doing it, you're banned from the internet. It's like, what the heck?
all of this new spotlight on his content caused people to highlight his other concerning videos, like the one where he steals this old lady's dog in the park, which I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I mean, there was a reason I was covering this dude so much back in the day, because I was genuinely shocked at what he did for social media attention. Like randomly jumping on the back of a man who's just standing in the street. The way he's tackling an unsuspecting stranger would scare anyone to make them assume they are being attacked. He also ran up on random people asking them if they wanted to, which is obviously insanely stupid and unsafe. And like I said earlier, that could easily have some fatal consequences if you tried something like that in the US. But
because you don't know who's carrying. Let's just put it that way. You don't know who's carrying. Because jumping on someone's back is assault, and they have whatever right to do whatever back. That's literally it. Going into someone's house, they have whatever right to do whatever back. So that's why that kid was killed 6 months ago for the kicking in a door. It was just ridiculous. It's absolutely retarded. It's just why? Who's raising these kids?
He admits later on that he just wanted clout, and he knew that if he wanted to do this, he had to keep on raising the stakes. He had to do crazier and crazier stuff, and clearly that was a disaster waiting to happen, because that's unfortunately the trap a lot of these nuisance streamers and TikTok pranksters fall into that we cover here on this channel. And yeah, it's safe to say he raised the stakes enough because the police got interested in his content, and unfortunately for him, he was going to face not only social repercussions but also legal ones, because in May of 2023 a judge issued him a 2-year criminal behavior order, including that he must not directly or indirectly post videos on social media without the documented consent of the people featured in the content. Then, of course, immediately, he violated this order and was charged with 3 breaches of criminal behavior orders. So then, a judge actually found Mizzy guilty and sentenced him to 18 months in jail. And not only that, he was also given a social media ban that was set to last until November of 2025. So, just this last month. But during that ban, I did actually speak to him briefly through Instagram DMs, and I shared that conversation in my video I made in April 2024. And even at that time, Mizzy seemed to allude his redemption arc and inevitable comeback. He told me about being a new father and that he was going back to school and getting a real job. And this time, he wasn't only a father of one, but since welcomed another child into the world. And he attributes a lot of his discipline and inspiration to his 2 kids. And honestly, it's admirable to see someone recognize when they really need to make a change and support the people that depend on them. And finally, on November 25th, Mizzy made his official return to social media with an Instagram post where he was dressed in his work clothes and addressing where he's been. Honestly,
you know, the thing is like, That's another way to build success. How many people build a career online being a success story or a change story? Of course, a lot of them end up relapsing, like the realtor who got himself arrested, but he was supposed to be sober and clean and showing off like $1 million mansions, $500,000 mansion, the most expensive places on earth, just touring houses. And then he ends up relapsing and going to jail. A lot of them are built because it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you want to root for that person. You really want to root for someone who's changing their life around for the better. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's just like he did something wrong to get a ton of clout. And now he's turning his life around. He already had a huge following, and he's going to get a ton of money for it and get a huge following for that as well.
Good for him. So he says his old videos were terrible and that he's learned from his mistakes, but he does say he's returning to making content, just in a completely different style. Here he teased music, a kickstream, vlogs, and joining the YouTube boxing scene. So that'll be interesting to see how all of that unfolds, but his new content so far seems to be talking about how he got into construction and how he got his life back together, and even teaches people how to follow his steps and get a trade job in the UK. And I mean, after seeing these videos, I'm like, wow, this is a really positive improvement here. Like, I am genuinely so happy to see this outcome, and I'm just hoping it stays.
Kills a man on camera, UK laws. Oh man, you can't post for another 2 weeks. By the way, have a good day. Bye. Basically, it's because the UK right now, it's just like they have a bunch of, let's just say, foreigners. They have a bunch of foreigners in, and the foreigners commit crimes that apparently they're allowed to do from where they come from. And when they tell that to the cops, and these crimes are absolutely heinous, the cops are like, oh, okay, just know that what you did, which most people would kill that person for, oh, just know it's not allowed here. It's not allowed here. Go ahead and go. We'll talk to the family so that nothing comes of it. It is insane. It's so backwards. If you go to a nation, you respect the laws. You follow the laws. And if you break them, well, you're getting incarcerated or losing your life or being sent back. I mean, there's a multitude of things that could fall in, that could work. I mean,
and honestly, what's crazy is Mizzy is only 21, and it seems like he's matured quite a bit in the last 2 years. Meanwhile, we have
18 months
Johnny
in prison
across the pond stuck in South Korea at 26, and I don't even think he's even close to being mature enough to take accountability like Mizzy.
Well, that's because he hasn't spent any time in the box. Mizzy apparently spent 18 months in the box and realized where his life was headed. Johnny Somali has been on bail, so he's going back to his friend Hank's apartment and crashing there as the courtroom proceedings continue in Korea, where he's going to end up getting like, what, 10 years? And then there's Petrali, who got arrested and is now in prison in the Philippines. I mean, these people just don't think. And by the time they realize they've done something wrong, well, it's too late. It's absolutely too late.
Mizzy did here. So it seems like Mizzy rebranded from an annoying nuisance streamer to an inspirational dad vlogger in less than 3 years. So hopefully he does return to harassing people.
He's gonna
for
make
attention
money.
Online. Because I'm all for a redemption arc, especially if the lesson to the viewer is doing shock content for clout will only result in bad things, and true fulfillment comes from hard work and taking care of the people you love. And also bonus points for showing that self-reflection and growth can be possible. And sometimes being quote unquote canceled is actually just an opportunity for introspection and positive change. Mizzy, from what I can tell, seems to be fully embodying these lessons and sharing them repeatedly to his following, which I can't hate on that. This is awesome to see. And the dude is even getting married soon to the mother of his child, so congratulations to both of them.
What's good, people? Following up on the last video I made.
Congrats.
Yes, guys, I am actually getting married, fam.
The thing is like I can see a lot of people going the annoying route in Britain because they'll see him become successful just to do a turnaround arc and go the other way. Because, oh, they were annoyances and now they're going to be uplifting. I mean, because they already have a huge following and people will be interested to see someone's, eventually that kind of thing will bottom out because it's like, oh, these people are just doing a gimmick. But for him, it'll work out. It'll work out. He'll be successful because people will be interested to see what he's doing next. They take any PR as good PR. Yeah. But it is. That's the thing. Because as it's negativity, and people love a redemption story, and he's leaning into that. Absolutely. So he's going to be incredibly successful now. He did that annoying bit, and in the UK, everything, no matter how criminal it is just a pat on the wrist. And then they come back and change it. Oh, it's just for a ton of money. And in the end, they end up rich anyway.
It's such a mad experience, bro. I'm only 21, bro, and I feel like I've come so far in my life. I've lived a lot of life, and I've been through so much. I found the one. So what's the point of dilly-dallying? We have a child together, so why not lock that in? If you want to come to the wedding, let me know, guys, bro. But next year, 2026, comeback season in motion. We outside in the districts.
So even though Mizzy started off on this channel as a menace who was on a swift fall off, he's a good example that you can actually fix your life. You don't have to go down this toxic, horrible path that so many of these kicks.
The problem is you do though. To start off as like a positive streamer or a positive content creator is like next to impossible now, because there are just too many out there. There are just way too many out there. There has to be something that's your gimmick, and you've been a nuisance streamer and then you transition. People will follow that. So you can't just say, oh, you'll. It's just like he's in it for the money, and good for him. Good for him. He's doing what works for him. But at the same time, it's just like he's in it for the money.
Streamers and TikTok pranksters are doing. It is absolutely not worth it. So overall, I am just super happy for him, and I really hope he continues this path. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yep. Always liking a Atozy video. Always good. Always good. He always does like whatever is recent. Tries to do daily content, it seems. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.